and it's been a wonderful Saturday for me. I am Blashy. I'm the GM of this wonderful game, and I'm joined by 4 new strangers who I'm going to embark upon an adventure with. Today, I watched Deadpool. I went down to the cinema and I watched Deadpool. Any of you Deadpool fans?
I think I'm going to watch
I,
that tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I've heard good things.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit busy tomorrow, so today was the day. It was pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about it because spoilers and everything. But yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. Had a good time.
I still haven't seen that new Star Wars film.
Oh, what is it? What's the new Star Wars film even called? I've watched the new Star Wars film.
Oh
It's
yeah,
episode
Return of
7,
the Jedi. Yeah,
Return of the.
came
I
out a
watched
while
it and I can't even remember the.
It was pretty
title.
good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Aside from that, I had work all week. I'm enjoying the weekend. Had a couple of cups of coffee. The weather's beginning to pick up a bit, but it's still freezing. And next session is not on Tuesday, but a week on Tuesday. So I've got 10 days to do prep and stuff. So I'm probably going to do the first faction turn for Beyond the Bridge, and actually set that up rather than just pretending that I have it set up, which is always good. And I'm wondering how it'll go. If it'll just go horribly and I'll be like, oh, this system doesn't work, or if it will. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Anyway, so Stephen, why don't you introduce yourself and tell the internet a bit about your life and what's going on?
Okay, so I'm Steve Dove. I've been role-playing for about 30 years. I remember when this sort of format was fashionable, just before it went out of fashion. So, yeah, I'm really excited to play this kind of style of game again, because it was, as I say, kind of going out of fashion when I first introduced the hobby. So I'm a scientist and a consultant, and married and about to move, so a bit stressed at the moment. So yeah, that's all about me. Character, I apologize in advance for this character. He's a bit much, to be absolutely honest, but I have to play him. So, audience, fellow players, sorry. Next.
Okay. I think I remember your character from the applications, Stephen. I think I do. Joe, tell us a bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the internet.
I am Joe. I work as a teaching assistant, and now I'm on half-term holiday, so I've got that going for me. Yeah, I'm 25 years old. I've been playing D&D not for too long, but the amount of time that I have played it in the few years that I started is ridiculous. I mostly DM. I did a session yesterday, actually, and we had a TPK, which was, yeah, maybe the karma's gonna come back to me, and we're gonna have one.
Well, I've got to remain impartial, apparently.
Of course. Well, I remain impartial, and a TPK happens.
If you all do die, I want you to know that while it is my fault, I'm not to blame. So,
And yes, I will be. I will be playing Robin, who is a halfling paladin, but not the regular kind. He's a wee little fella.
a weedy
More on him
paladin. Interesting. Okay. So, Zil, if you could introduce yourself to the internet.
Hello, Internet. I am Zil. Until just before Christmas, I was working for Tesco in one of the largest British supermarkets, which is absolutely appalling to work in, so please don't do that. And so at the moment, I'm just doing some casual work for the Labour Party while I look for a proper job.
Casual work?
And
Is that
yeah.
You're going door to door, beating people up until they vote Labour?
Oh, unfortunately not. Could have used that in May, but never mind. It's just I help out the local MP with casework. I do letters and things. That's about it.
Okay.
Not too much there.
Have you got much experience of playing D&D?
Until a couple of months ago, my only experience was really playing things like Baldur's Gate, things like that. But watched the Hit Me JP streams and thought, oh, that's really good. I'm going to sign up to Roll20 and try and do that. Saw this, and I've had a couple of games since, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this.
Itme JP's got some really good GMs and some great production value. Of course, I shouldn't big him up too much because then no one will want to watch me. No, sad face, but he's really great, like ridiculously so. And Stephen Lumpkin,
Yeah, go watch him.
best GM. Yeah. In fact, if you haven't watched West Marches on Itme JP, go there now. Watch it. It's really good. And then when you've like binge-watched-
After you watch this.
Oh yeah. After
It's different time zones anyway. Like,
Oh good, I'm terrible. And Zil, who are you playing today?
I am playing Gabriel Valeri, a rogue who was exiled from the nasty empire over the bridge.
Of course. But that's all behind you now, I'm sure. And Edgar.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to
Hello.
the internet.
My name is Edgar, as you said, or Ed, if you like, for short. I'm a college student and, enjoying that life.
Oh,
It's great.
so long ago. Not that long.
Yeah.
Been playing role-playing games for about 4 years. I've been experimenting a lot. Started with D&D, of course, like most people. But I've kind of enjoyed Fiasco, if you know that game,
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
It's really good.
My only experience of Fiasco, I mean, it was okay, but I watched it on Tabletop on Geek and Sundry. I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Played it, and I was like, okay, it's okay.
See, the great thing is you don't need a DM. So it's a great way to bring your friends who are not into role playing at all or D&D and think of it as like a nerdy thing, and you can bring them into it like that.
Yeah, you gotta sneak them in.
Yeah,
Sneak
yeah.
them in. So,
And,
you
go on.
studying something interesting at college?
if you consider animation interesting, then
Oh, I do.
Oh,
More
okay.
the finished
Great.
product.
I
Than the actual
don't.
process.
and I'm studying it.
More the finished product than the actual process of it.
Oh god, yeah, it's really tedious.
I think that's the problem with a lot of things. You think, oh, that's amazing. I really want to do that. Oh, God, this is terrible.
Why did I make this choice?
Essentially,
I
you're
used to
drawing the
want to-
same picture over and over again. That's pretty much what it is.
I used to want to be a computer programmer when I was younger, and then I did computing at A level, and I thought, oh, God, this is terrible. Please let me stop.
Computing.
And yeah,
So
I'm playing.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be playing a religious rogue by the name of Rhea.
And a particular religion?
Yes. Hold on. I made the sheet like 2 weeks ago and I forgot all about it. Hold on. Saloon. There you go.
The moon. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Cool. So, is there anything else anyone wants to pipe up and chip in? Before you answer, Baldur's Gate. Someone mentioned that. I think it was you, Zil? Or was it you, Joe?
Hello.
It was Zil. Okay. That game, amazing. Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, they have a lot to blame for me. Baldur's Gate, I loved it. The last bit on Baldur's Gate, you know the bit I'm talking about, the maze? Kill me.
Throne of Bow.
Oh, Throne of Battle. That's the second one, isn't it? No, just in the
That's
first.
the
Just in the
Oh, right.
the basic normal Baldur's Gate. Before the boss fight, the maze.
Mhm.
On my first playthrough, I got that far and then couldn't get through it. It was just like, sad face me. Okay. So, was there anything else anyone wanted to chip in? Has anyone had a particularly interesting Saturday so far? No? Okay, so I think we're good to move on to the game. So, welcome to Beyond the Bridge. Rules changes have been occurring that you may or may not know, depending on if you were here last week or you've been in the chat, that the half experience for monsters is no longer a thing. The original thinking was to, chop off half the monster experience, and that makes you not want to kill everything just to get experience, and then work that experience into other things, such as exploring, finding out secrets, that kind of thing. It doesn't really work at all for this type of game. It just falls very flat. So I just got rid of it. And I've introduced another thing for the traveling. There are 3 new travel actions, one for the athletics, one for the survival, and one for the stealth, and they revolve around encounters. Stealth is hide from an encounter, basically. Once when you roll an encounter, you just don't roll an encounter that time. Athletics is purposely roll an encounter. You've stomped around, you've found something to fight, or talk to, or investigate. You've just been walking the obvious paths. And survival is scout for an encounter. Just look around. Maybe find a clue about what's in this region. Find some tracks that suggest, oh, look, a wild wolf. Something like that. They're just in there. Okay. I think that's the rules. None of you are returning characters, so you don't need to worry about downtime. Stephen, I know you were asking me this, but there is a downtime action called Gather Intelligence or Gather Information, which you can take between sessions. And that allows you to basically get a rumor that you can then hold, and then later on be like, oh, I heard a rumor about this. Tell me what I heard. So it's a good way for you to not have to make a knowledge check or something, or learn something that perhaps you otherwise wouldn't know. But we don't need to worry about that now. What we do need to worry about is, this is Beyond the Bridge. It's beyond the bridge. It's the Western world, the ravages of the wild and the wilderness, overgrown ruins, horrible monsters, and grisly fates await those who wander out. And this story starts, at least, in Haven. Haven is the last vestige of civilization, also they like to think, west of the bridge. And in it is a tavern called the Last Hope, so called because it's the last hope for mead, for good ale, for good beer, for good wine, for good imperial produce. The Empire is a large, bureaucratic, tyrannical domain which rules everything east of the Great River. And it's very dull, it's very boring, and it has a particular habit of exiling people westward. So, be you exiles or be you wander-seeking adventurers, you have come to Haven to start your story. Let's see, I'm forgetting something. Anyway, now let's not forget that I'm forgetting something. Moving on. So, are you all waiting around in the Last Hope, looking for each other? Has one of you approached the others? Have you visited the tree outside in the main town and picked up a sheaf of paper from it? Or have you just been listening to the rumours of what's been going on? Does anyone want to set the scene?
Well, I'd probably say, probably arrived the night before, or perhaps the one before that, and I put myself up at the tavern, and maybe it's the morning, and I'm sitting in the adventurer table because I think it's got the big map carved into it, shuffling some papers.
That's the IPME JP's West Marches, I believe, unfortunately. Although I don't know, maybe it has. Or maybe it's just known as the adventurers table. People have been sitting there, the seats are now worn with the garnered experience of heroic warriors. But carry on, sorry.
Maybe the barkeep just said people who are looking for work gather there. So I'm thinking I've only arrived with 2 gold pieces, so I really need some work. So I'm just sitting there shuffling papers, notes on the quests that are available, and see if anyone else comes in.
Okay. And for the purposes of the audience, the current quests available are Wanted, Dead or Alive, Carlo, the bandit, the Troublesome Tree. Farmer Giles still has a problem with the tree, which is getting worse. The monster in the Oasis. Apparently there's a demon out in the Oasis far to the west, and the monster in the mines, which has also gotten worse. The miners have been driven off from the mine and are now holed up in Forund, or New Forund. So,
I guess we've had some sort of conversation, because we've kind of established we either want to go after the tree or the bandits, and we've leant towards going towards the tree, I believe.
So I'll just go around and ask you to introduce yourself as you're sat at this table, just talking with Gabriel then. So, Stephen, could you please introduce your character?
When you first saw Cadenmore, he was stepping off a coach, and his boot sank to the knee into some horse shit. He looks around the town disdainfully.
Is this the best that this west area can offer?
He takes a dagger out from his hip and looks at it. It appears to be a piece of jagged glass. If this is some kind of trick, he places it back, steps into the inn, and then basically looks around for some companions.
You find Gabriel sitting at the tavern. Robin, Joe, could you please tell us what Robin's introduction is? What does she look like? He. Sorry.
Yes, Robin is a very small ginger halfling, and he's quite young, and he'll be skipping merrily down the road, whistling on his way as he makes his way to where the party is. He seems to quite like the town. He likes everything. He's not perturbed by this, and he'll walk into the tavern and go, "Oh, hello, mistress. I'm looking for a group. Can I join you?"
Okay, so Gabriel, you're sat at this table. Tell us what Gabriel looks like. You're shuffling these papers.
Yeah, well, Gabriel's I suppose he's pretty tall for compared to the average, but he's not very strong at all. So he's really lanky, but he's got slick black hair, it's shiny, pretty neat looking. He's got a beard which is well kept, and his skin's a bit pale. He's obviously not really been out in the sun a whole lot. His fingernails are really clean, which is probably something that people might notice. And he's got, I suppose, his equipment sitting on the chair behind him. There's a crossbow propped up against the back of the chair. And he's just shuffling these papers and then looks up and sees all these people gathering around.
Okay. And Ed, could you make an introduction for Rhea to tell us what she looks like?
Yeah, I'd say during all this time, Rhea was sitting in the tavern somewhere, maybe in the corner, just kicked back on her chair, drinking some ale with a grey cloak and hood up, just listening to what's happening. What she looks like. I'm just actually going to read this description. She has long, flowing, dark brown hair. She wears a dark red tunic under her leather vestments. She's got a pack strapped closely to her back around her shoulder, and a short bow and a short sword strapped to her back, and 2 daggers. And yeah, that's basically what she looks like.
Okie dokes.
You can't actually tell. She's a half elf, but you can't tell her. The whole point of the hood is to hide her identity or race.
Okay. So you've all been drawn to this fellow Gabriel who's been shuffling his papers, looking for work. It seems like you're the only people in the tavern, other than the wiry old man who moves to and fro. There's a fire pit in the center of the Last Hope, which currently has no meat roasting upon it. Various tables dotted around, and behind the bar you can see the head of a fearsome wolf. It looks wrong, distorted, corrupted somehow, and the rumour around town is that it is the head of a warg ridden by a goblin. So, what do you say? You're all sat there? You've had some discussion, maybe a couple of drinks. It seems like you're torn between taking out Carlo or dealing with Farmer Giles' problem tree. So what's the thing that finally sways it?
I think just take a vote, and the going to deal with the tree wins.
Okay. So, the tree it is. What do you want to do? Oh, actually, the tree wins. Let me read out the tree. Okay, so an elegant proclamation is nailed to the board with a scruffy note affixed. I wish this matter resolved, and hereby place the sum of 50 imperials for the destruction of this devil's tree. The shabby note below reads, My lord, I entreat your aid. A great oak has sprung by magic overnight, and now casts a pale shadow across my land. I sent my boy at it with an axe, but terror so great overcame him that he came running back from the foul tree. Your humble servant Giles. And beneath it, it's signed by his most esteemed grace, Truman von Eristoff. However, recently, I think in the past week, a fresh letter has appeared beneath the original proclamation, which begins with the original proclamation, which has now begun to become dog-eared from so many people like picking it up and reading it. The fresh letter reads, My lord, I beg your help. My sweet boy is dead. It is a dreadful tale, but I must put it to words in the hope that you will send aid. A man of great brawn came to fell the tree, but no sooner than he had lifted his axe, he took to a violent screaming. My poor sweet boy, overtaken by madness, struck him dead. Before he had recovered, my boy was horrified and took his own life. I admit to my shame, I could not bring myself to approach that hated tree to cut him down. Now I wish I had, for as the moon rose, his corpse began to twist and heave, and even as I write these words, my poor boy wanders sightless and soulless among my cursed field. I see now I should have sent for a priest, and not a lumberjack. The tree is sent by the devil, I am assured. Below this tear-stoned paper, the elegant script continues, and reads, This matter is urgent. I shall double the reward to rid this vile tree, and lay to rest this bewitched child, his most esteemed grace, Truman von Eristoff. So, what you need to know, what you need to do.
Perhaps we
I
should
take
buy
it out.
some extra oil.
I was about to say, is our first instinct to try and destroy the tree,
Yes.
as the note requires?
We must be prepared for all eventualities, Master Valeri.
Are any of you priests or clerics, perhaps?
No, I mean, I'm a paladin, but I'm not a very good one.
Could you smite the tree?
No, sorry. I came here to get better. I'm not quite at that stage yet.
I would suggest confronting this creature, whatever it is, directly will result in death. We should use guile.
I like what you said about the oil. It's a good idea. We should buy some.
But
There's
first,
a general store across the way. Perhaps we should go there and see if he has some.
Master Valeri, where might we find this seneschal? You have been in town
Seneschal?
longer than I. Yes, the note says, further information may be obtained from his grace, who I am sure will not admit vagabonds such as us, or his seneschal.
Ah, well, I've only been here a couple of days, but there's only one place that could be. It's the Big Stone Manor.
Then let us go forth. Who amongst us has the glibbest of tongues? For reasons that escape me, I tend to set other people's nerves on edge.
Really, mister? I can't tell why. Well, most people like me, so I can do the talking.
Excellent.
Before I came here from the Empire, I was a relatively high-ranking member of the bureaucracy, so I may be of some assistance there too.
I shall stay behind.
Well,
Okay.
we could skip down to the manor now then. Do you want to go? This is
Perhaps-
exciting.
What
Yes.
was the other rogue's name? Sorry, I forgot.
Rhea.
Rhea. Right. Perhaps, Rhea, if you wish to stay behind, you could head to the store and see about purchasing oil for the destruction of this devil's tree.
I don't see why not.
Good plan.
Blage, how far would it be? How far in
Blage.
terms of flight? Blage, sorry. How far is it in? I should know that as well. It's a Polish name, isn't it?
No,
How
it's
far?
Czech. Close
That's
enough,
not-
though.
Is it? What's the flight time to this village? Because we know it's to the south. What was it?
The village. The time to get to Giles and Sparkstead, a day, maybe less, if you walk hard. It's pretty close. Further than, a casual citizen of Haven would wander, but it's not by any means a stretch.
What about a flying speed of 60 feet? How fast could you get there then?
Half a day.
Right. I send my familiar, the owl, to surveil this area before we arrive. It is ordered not to approach the tree, but to watch very carefully. Melchizedek.
That's quite the pet you have there, Master Cadenmore.
I
Careful.
didn't know that you could talk owl.
Who?
careful, Master Valeri. My pet does not like humans very much.
And, Mister, aren't you a human? Excuse me asking.
I was once.
Okay.
Uh,
Could
You're mighty
What
unsettling.
do you-
Many people told you
what
that.
do you consider yourself now?
Superior. And with that, Caden Moore turns away.
So do you just like stand up, walk outside the Last Hope, and just set loose your owl?
Yes, and I order it to surveil the area and then return
Okay.
and tell me what it has
What does
discovered.
the owl look like?
It is a large, we'll say it's a tawny owl, and I order it to fly as high as possible so that it will avoid any predators or people attempting to hunt it.
Okay.
So
And your
it
plan
kind of-
is for it to meet you on the way back, essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Could you roll a perception and a stealth check for it, if you could? That'd be
For
wonderful.
it. Okay.
For it.
Okay. Okay, let me see now. This is going to be interesting because it's got a different perception from me. It gets advantage on this as if it's sight based.
Yes. Like you're asking it to surveil the area. That's
Yep.
sight. You're not asking it to like land and poke things or sniff it from a distance. Is that the
Okay.
perception test there?
That's the perception test. I'll actually try that again as well because it does have advantage. There is a small chance I might get it better. Nope. And the stealth. Let's see. I'll tell it not to approach the tree, by the way.
I got that. Don't worry. It's all good.
Let's land on it.
I'm
Rub
not
its
wasting
feathers
10
against
gold
it.
pieces. I'm not wasting 10 gold pieces to resummon you, you idiot creature.
Wrecked.
Only a 10.
Okay. And do you have the stats for this owl up?
Yes, I do.
I believe. Could you roll an intelligence saving throw for it? Is what I
Okay.
would like.
Okay, that's not a good saving throw for this owl.
Oh,
Nine.
man, I have proficiency in intelligence saving throws. Might actually be able to get some use out of that.
Let me just check something real quick.
Mhm.
And I think the next thing I'm going to ask you for is its hit points.
Oh, god damn it.
Not to spoil anything, but
It's just for
One.
curiosity, you know.
One.
Nothing.
One.
one. Okay. Huh. Oh wait, no. Cough, cough.
Roll 10d6.
Well, I actually just loaded 4d10 into the chamber, unfortunately. But
That's not good.
that is not the correct thing to have
It
loaded.
might survive.
Oh dear.
There we go.
How is
Um,
it not attacked if it's not approached?
Doop.
This is actually quite worrying.
Cool. And
Maybe
you said
we
it
need
had
to-
how many hit points?
1.
Cool. So
I
you
think.
set it loose, and nothing seems wrong. You see it flying off into the distance. Meanwhile, Robin and Gabriel, you set off towards the manor. I'm correct in you can communicate telepathically with it if it's in 100 foot.
Yep, but not otherwise.
Okay.
But if it dies, I just resummon it, and it tells me basically it doesn't actually die. It just goes to a pocket dimension.
So, Gabriel, not Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel and Robin. Yeah, I'm right. Cool. I need to stop mucking everything up. Robin and Gabriel, could you? Yeah. I don't know why I'm asking you. Could you please roll an intelligence saving throw as you walk up the road to the manor? So you find the manor of his most esteemed grace, Truman von Aristoff. It's a large wooden manor surrounded by a like waist-high, small cobble wall which has been recently built. You can see a imported wrought iron gate just kind of standing there. It's flanked by a pair of guards who have the definite air of mercenary rather than a noble's guard. And you can see general militia that guard the town milling around. As you will approach, could you give a brief description of yourselves, just your clothing and your weapons? really, is what I'm asking for here.
I just have a small rapier and leather armor, and just fine little hobbit-like cape.
Okay. And Gabriel? You are a
I'm
human,
not
Gabriel,
wearing-
yes?
Yeah, I'm a human. I'm not wearing any armor at the moment. I'm just wearing traveling clothes. So there's like cloak, some warm, I guess, woolly stuff, and I've got a crossbow strapped over my shoulder and a scabbard at my side with a short sword in, and a couple of daggers hidden around somewhere.
Okay, dokes. So as you walk on up, the guards turn to face you, Gabriel, and they go, "Hello, what's your business?"
Hoi! Ha! Hoi.
Greetings.
This is a nice-looking place.
And
Sorry.
they look down at you and they're like, "Oh, yes, your business."
Greetings. We are hoping to see the seneschal about the matter of the Devil's Tree.
Oh, of course. Come on in. And they lead you up, and you go through the front door, and you find yourself in a kind of like large but very empty, what would look quite regal entranceway. There's like a big staircase leading up, several doors going off to rooms. There's a nice couch, like with plush kind of like felt lining, and a simple wooden table that's highly polished lying out in front of it. But you can see a number of places where there are like pedestals and tables and display cabinets. They're all bare. They don't have anything in them. There are spaces on the plain wooden walls where you would expect a painting or a tapestry to hang, but there are none. And after a short wait, and one of the guards goes off into another room, and a guy comes out, and he's wearing this deep, kind of almost purplish blue robe, and he has an immaculate little goatee, carefully slicked back hair. Gabriel, you see him, and there's an immediate sense of recognition of this man is a bureaucrat. You have that just kind of vibe. You've seen his ilk again and again. And he walks in and he goes, "Ah, you're here to resolve the matter."
Oi,
Uh,
yes, why? What can you tell us, mister?
Well, little more than was put on the notice. The tree, I believe, is an oak of some description, and it has sprang up over, I think it has at least been a month now that it has been in that field. Since it has sprung, Farmer Giles has sent no shipments or word other than those letters that he has sent. Some of the militia have wandered near that way, and they've seen the farm from afar. Smoke still rises from the chimney, but no man that has set out to fell the tree has returned. No man that I know of, at least. His
Are
Grace
there
deems
any
this
reports? Sorry.
His Grace deems this a matter of importance, and is offering a sum of 100 imperials for the destruction of this tree.
That is a princely sum.
It
Are
is
there
indeed.
any reports? Are there any reports of other activity around the tree, or is it only a frightful thing when people attempt to destroy it?
From the farmer's letters, it appears as though the entire field is fell somehow. I have not visited the location myself, but it seems if it were a mere simple tree, he would have been able to farm the field. Little more than that, I do not know.
Sounds a serious matter. We can't have the agricultural land being usurped by evil trees.
Indeed.
It's so lovely. Do you have any, like, trinkets or stuff that could help us? Do our job.
Yes,
Ah. What would they be?
the payment.
Well, no.
And he
That's
gives
the
you
after
like the
part. I'm-
stoniest look possible.
I just nudge the halfling subtly and have a look around the room, pointing out all these like empty cases and things. So it doesn't look like they're overflowing with magical items or anything.
No, you're right there. Are you moving, by the way, mister? There seems to be a lot of nothing around here.
Yes, Truman von Aristoff is still in the process of transporting the large amount of his estate to this location. It has not been long since he has been given this fiefdom.
May I inquire who gave him this fiefdom? I was under the impression that this land beyond the bridge was unruled.
He rules by his own right. It is the land of noble birth. He has a writ of imperial majesty, which gives him, technically, I believe, all the land beyond the bridge shall be his. But to do such immediately would be a grave misjudgment.
Oh, that sounds lovely for him. Right. But if you
May-
can't give us
may I
anything
just,
useful, I guess we best get going.
May I just clarify that the Emperor has granted Duke Aristoph the land beyond the bridge?
Indeed. In its entirety. As much as he can...
he-
I believe the specific wording is lawfully protects with his armed populace.
Robin starts pulling on your sleeves. Mister, what are you trying to do? I don't actually understand what you're trying to get out of this. You don't want to make him angry.
The
I'm not trying to
Seneschal
make him
smiles
angry.
broadly.
I'm just trying to learn the law
Right.
and who rules.
Don't know, it sounded
I'm
like you were
quite new
questioning
here.
him. Maybe he doesn't like being
Um,
questioned.
I've only been here a day or two. I'm just trying to get to know who's in charge, all that kind of thing. It's very important to know who's giving the orders and who's carrying them out.
The Seneschal says curtly, Duke Truman von Aristoph, his most esteemed grace, rules all, gives the orders. He is the man in charge.
Well, I think I've learned all we need to learn, unless you have any questions, Robin.
No, just, when we're going to go get second breakfast?
Okay.
So
Let's find the others.
Okay, so you depart back to the centre of town. Meanwhile, Ria, I believe you were heading to talk to Zhaodi at the general store and procure a large quantity of oil.
Yes.
Okay.
So I walk in.
The general store's just, a big wooden general store in the centre of town. Outside, there are, hose and rakes and scythes. Inside,
Yes.
there's, stacks of armour and weapons, trade goods, etc. The large counter behind which Zhaodi stands. He's a really big human, 6'6" with massive muscly arms, tattoos down the length of them. He's wearing a leather doublet, black leather doublet, ripped off at the arms with the sigil of a bird upon its chest. And of note in this store, there is a suit of immaculate plate armor with a price tag hanging from it for 3,000 golden imperials. And as you walk in, he goes, "Hello, welcome, another customer. What can I do for you?"
Good day, merchant. And I kind of look at the
Zhaodi,
suit of armor.
please.
Zhaodi. I look at the piece of armor and I kind of... Is there another full plate hiding behind this one?
No.
No.
Why'd you ask?
What's with the price?
Ah, this is finest imperial import. Where else would you find such an item?
I see. Is it...
I have, as you say, a monopoly on business. Times are good. And he smiles.
Ah, I see now. Okay. I'd like to procure some oil flasks, actually, if you sell those.
Of course, I do. A lamp oil. How many do you need?
Well, see, I came in here, and such an esteemed merchant as yourself would probably have a discount on batch purchases.
Of course, of course. How many are we talking?
5.
No,
5?
40.
40.
5?
I don't think I even have enough for 40.
We need
For a batch
40.
of 5, I fear this is not a bulk order. 5 silver is the price.
What would you call a bulk order? I'm not a merchant
100.
myself, you see. Okay, as he says that, she kind of puts her head down so the hood conceals her face. And perhaps he can hear like a soft, smirk. Okay. You know what? I'll just go with 5. What was it? 5 silver?
Yes,
Perfect.
5 sovereigns, if you please. He holds out his hand, accepts your money, gives you 5 clay flasks of oil.
Okay. Sweet.
Nice, gloopy amber liquid.
Alright, I head up.
Cool. So you all meet up back in the centre of town. Caden Moore with Althazal, Robin and Gabriel with knowledge but no trinkets, and Ria with 5 flasks of oil. What is your next step? Is it to venture forth, or is there any further stuff you need to do in town?
I distribute oil. I keep 2. Everyone gets 1 flask.
What did you learn, Master Valeri?
Well, we didn't learn much beyond what was on the note. Only that no shipments have been sent from the farmer. Some of the militia have gone down to check on him, but he's not been present. The only thing that seems to come out are the letters. And also, it seems the tree corrupts the land it grows in, so that's a potentiality we should look out for.
Oi, it sounds mighty worrying. I'm kind of thinking that maybe we might not be able to achieve this. And if we look at it and it looks a wee bit too hard, then we cut our losses and go and find the bandits.
Is that fear from a paladin I see?
Not fear, just, me being realistic.
You show uncommon good sense for one of your ilk. Agreed.
Well, so far it seems the tree has mostly been upset with those who attempt to destroy it, so at least checking it out seems less dangerous than attacking the bandits, who would probably attack us on sight.
I guess we'd at least look at it and...
Well, it is a question of unknown versus known. We know what to expect if we go after the bandits. We don't know what to expect if we go after the tree.
We will know
That's
shortly.
true.
It's only a day's
One
travel
way
anyway.
or
We can
another.
do both. We can do both.
That seems ambitious. Let's just see how the tree goes before we decide to do another thing.
So out of character, I think our plan requires more oil.
Yes.
So if it's okay, we just buy a bit more oil.
I don't know how big the tree is. It might be like a little sapling. You don't know.
The note says a great oak.
Whatever.
How much is it to buy a keg?
A keg, 1 gold. To fill it with oil, 40 silver, 4 gold. So 5 gold to buy a keg of oil. 40 units of oil per keg.
If we're going back to the general store, I would just like to try talking with Zhaodi for a
Of
little
course.
bit.
So you walk into the general store. It's a simple wooden building. Outside are barrels filled with hose, rakes, and scythes. Inside there's, far juice and blah blah blah. Zhaodi's a big 6'6" man with a broad smile, massive bustly arms with tattoos down them, wearing a black leather doublet with the symbol of a bird upon it. And when you walk in, he goes, "Hello, new customers." Ria, are you walking in with them?
No.
Okay. So he goes, "Ah, new
I
customers."
stay outside with the hose.
Unfortunately, there's a single hoe between 2 scythes. You feel a bit let down. So, Gabriel, you're in the general store. Simple affair. You see the suit of armor, and Zhaodi greets you. What do you do?
So I'll go up to the counter. I guess he's standing behind a counter,
Yeah.
and I'll look up because he's about half a foot taller than me, and I'll stick my hand out and shake his hand.
He
And hope he
grabs it
doesn't crush
firmly,
it.
Shakes it. You feel in his hand there's like calluses of a hard worker.
Well, I guess he would feel that what calluses I have come from writing, so...
So he smiles broadly at you and goes, "What can I do for you? What business
I
brings you here?"
say, have you heard of the Devil's Tree?
I have indeed. It is a most solemn affair. Truly, Giles Farmstead was a great bringer of produce until about a month back. I had been expecting a shipment of harvest grain.
Ah, so you buy regularly from Farmer.
Yes, I've even met his boy, Bill. Such terrible news.
It is indeed sad. Can you tell us anything about the farmer, Giles? Has he changed his methods or anything before the incident occurred?
I don't know. He's been here longer than Haven has, to tell you the truth, and I don't think he's changed his methods in all the time I've been here.
Well, that's good to know. I imagine you probably guessed that me and my companions are chasing the reward and attempting to deal with the matter. And we are looking to purchase some flammable oil, which might be useful in destroying a tree.
Of course.
And I was
But do
wondering
not
if
the
you would give
devils
us.
dwell in the furnace?
We shall see. I was wondering if you could perhaps give us a good rate. Of course, you would still need some profit, but if we manage to succeed, the shipments that come to you will increase, and perhaps some remnants of this tree might prove useful, and we could give you them.
He smiles broadly. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Let's try and work out the character sheet now.
Click, click.
Alright.
If you just click the little dice next to persuasion, you should roll
Yeah.
it. It'll just be the better of the two rolls it spits out. So 22. He smiles broadly and goes, "A discount? Of course. Of course. I would offer it to you free, but unfortunately that is extremely poor business practice. But yes, I will give you a great discount on some oil. I'll sell you to it at 10% rate. You mentioned that you might be interested in bringing me some shards of the tree. Yes.
If
This would
there's
be
anything
very
left
good.
and it proves not to be dangerous, we shall certainly
Yes.
bring you
if
a few
could,
samples.
If you could bring me a live branch with leaves, a vial of its sap, and you said you're going to burn it? A chunk of its bark, and a shard of its embers. Yes. These items, I will pay you 5 gold for each one.
I'll get out a piece of paper and write down all the things he's asking for.
And should you manage
Just
to
to
find
make sure we've got a
gold
note.
of should you manage to find a glut of these items, I would pay 50 for the lot.
Bring the whole tree.
Hey,
The
so,
whole tree. Ooh.
Corrupt the entire town.
Mister,
Eyes are like
you said
with
you
dollar
said that
signs.
you don't know nothing about the tree, but that's an oddly specific list, if you ask me.
Well, I've read my books. If this tree truly is magical, then those would be the most logical parts that I've seen. I mean,
Huh.
is there really anything else that you can take from a tree? I'm just covering all the bases.
Well, if you pay us 50 gold, I suppose we'll go and get the things for you.
50 gold if you manage to acquire all in gluts. Otherwise, 5 for each.
Well, that seems fair enough. I would just ask, you a practitioner of alchemical or magical arts, Mr. Jardai?
Unfortunately, no. However, I am currently in possession of some very rare reagents. And he goes behind the counter and pulls out like a wooden box that looks to be about 2 foot long and about a foot deep. And he opens it, and you can see all manner of like vials and like strange concoctions. You don't think any of them are like potions, but they're definitely like the ingredients for the alchemical things. And he points to a set of alchemical tools on like a little bench, and he goes, "But I have acquired some items 2 weeks ago. Some travelers, they sold them to me, and I've been looking for someone to buy them. Are you a practitioner of the alchemical arts?"
Unfortunately, that is not my skill. I have but a meager one, and I just hold up my palm and create a little illusion in it from the prestidigitation spell.
He looks at it like with a bit of wonderment, and he's like, "Ah, a wizard then."
I only studied a few in my spare time. I was too busy keeping tax records.
Tax records from
Yes.
the Empire.
Oh yes,
Where
I
did
was
you work?
I was a regional supervisor, I would believe is the
Which region?
translation.
And he like
You'd have to
he's
tell me
squinting
that.
at you, and you can see like this greedy face upon him.
Dollar signs appear in his eyes.
Which region?
I tug on your sleeve again. Mister, we've got the deal. We'll take the keg and go. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Also, can I have a 10-foot pole while I'm here?
Oh, of course, of course. Would you like a rake or a scythe on it?
No, just the pole's good.
Oh, well, okay. And he looks like, a bit weirded out by this request, but money's money. A 10-foot pole is a mighty sum. Why can I not find a 10-foot pole?
5 copper.
5 copper, yeah.
It says pole 10 foot in brackets.
He charges you 5 shills and gives you the pole.
Valeri,
I always
you
imagine a
hear
10-foot pole to be something where it's sort of like multiple poles that like click together.
No,
Because otherwise it's
just like
Oh, okay. I was
It's a
about to ask,
10-foot
how do
wooden
you
pole.
carry it?
awkwardly. The whole point of a 10-foot pole. is to look like a wonderful person that goes into dungeons with a 10-foot pole.
Well, when he asked me what region I was from, well, I guess since you created the Empire Blizzard, you'd have to tell me that.
You can make up any name you wish. Beyond the bridge does not matter if you're going east. You can populate the Empire to your heart's content.
Well, making up names usually takes me a couple of hours, so I'll just say I tell him where I came from.
You came from the Ashland district. There we go. So he goes, did you do the tax returns for the magpies in that area? Roll a d20.
Just a straight d20?
Just a straight d20.
$18.
It turns out, yes, you do remember doing tax returns for a magpie guild operating out of the Ashland district.
I did indeed supervise some of their taxes, yeah.
Do you have the papers with you?
I do not. I left in rather a hurry.
Write them from memory.
I could try, but that is quite a task. I would ask for some payment.
I would be willing to provide you with pen and paper, and ink, and 10 gold, should you manage to recall the complete account. But I'm sure you wish to be underway. This is a matter for later.
Yes, well, I'll come back and I'll give it a go.
Okay. Out of character, if you wish to spend your next downtime action giving Xiaodi the magpie archives for the Ashland district, you will automatically get 10 gold.
Wee.
Just make a note of that, because I might forget. Okay, so is there any other business you wish to do in town, or is it out into the wilds?
It's time to get going.
Did we actually buy the oil yet?
He gives it to you for 4 gold. That's a 10% rate. And you get a keg of oil.
Nice.
Whoever's carrying the keg of oil, you count as being slowed by it, so long as you're carrying it. So half movement rate unless you put it down. Not for travels, just for if you're fighting and you happen to still be carrying the keg. That kind of thing. Okay.
So it's a party of 4, and the halfling is carrying a giant keg on his back and a 10-foot pole also strapped to his back.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, why am I carrying all the stuff?
Oh.
Perhaps does Xiaodi sell little carts that are cheap, like a kid's cart you put the barrel in?
Like a wheelbarrow. He'll sell you a wheelbarrow, sure. Let's see. Wheelbarrow.
I mean,
it would be
would not a donkey be more practical?
A donkey.
There are no donkeys in town.
Carts are expensive.
There's no stables in town.
I'm not saying a full cart. Have you seen in those old time American things where kids have a red cart with 4 wheels and they just pull it along behind them?
Yeah, I reckon he could probably sell you one of them for 5 gold.
Oh, 5 gold.
Yeah, very
I think we're going to run out
I
of money.
We're broke. This is bad. Stop buying.
He's selling a suit of armor for double price. Come on. What do you expect?
Can we rent it from him?
Oh, of course.
Mister,
he'll
stop
rent
buying
it
things.
to you for free. If you
For
return
free?
it to him with the parts of the tree that you've promised, and he'll take the charge of the cart from the money he gives you for the tree.
How much is he charging for the cart?
5 gold.
But we're going to give it back after a couple of days.
Give me a persuasion check,
Okay. Let's hope this one isn't a 1.
and then make a charisma saving throw.
Oh. Persuasion.
This is a vicious world you created.
Merchants are merchants. He's friendly. Okay,
How
so
how's that?
not only do you fail to convince Xiaodi to slacken off on this, you actually end up believing that it's a good deal. He manages to talk you into it, and he shows you the cart, and before long you're being fed this rope and stick about how great this cart is. Look, the wheels don't squeak. Oh look, it's got a bit of straw in it. That's a perk. That means the keg won't rustle as much. And by the end of this 10-minute display, you're like, oh yeah, looks very good. So do you take it?
Sadly, I can't afford 5 gold for that. I'll just have a look around.
No, he's holding payment. He'll take it out of your earnings when you return.
Oh, I say I will have to get agreement from my companions, but sounds all right to me.
What do the rest of you say to the overpriced
I
little
keep
children's
quiet.
cart?
It's up to you,
Have
Mr.
we dealt with the irrelevances?
We'll just take the cart and get going. Come on.
Yes. Blage, so far from what we've heard, can I make an Arcana check to see if I know anything about this tree?
Yes, but I think the result will be told to you after a break. And we'll take a little break. So if everyone just has a awkward moment of silence, we'll be back in a little bit.
What?